Welcome Arnold and Slatan and Kijos. Good to see you. I am in the hype. Not sure how it will play out. But after the 1, 2, 3 and then the 4, yeah, I just have to give it a try. It's the favorite model, so let's see how it does. However, the rest of the market looks like pure shit. DTC is super weak. Let's wait a little longer for some people to join. Yeah, let's see what it does. Hopefully, it is for now still finding resistance at the VWAP. So if it can flip that, I'm more comfortable. But yeah, as said, sometimes you just have to give the shot. And especially if it's the 1, 2, 3, 4 internal break, daily point of control flip, then it's worth a shot, in my opinion. Let's first go over BTC. Welcome, Lise. Let's see what's gold. Tapped into this demand. We have more refined demand here above. It also created some demand, so we can watch. That's probably new daily low on BTC. Yeah. Okay. Let's first zoom out a bit and get rid of this. So on BTC we had this what was it? Yeah, on Tuesday, which was basically Monday, since Mondays the market were closed. We took this buy side liquidity above with this move and then started the sell-off. Since then we have been just trading down, not really any solid re-shorting opportunities. So I didn't catch a short in this leg, but yeah, that's often the case. Once you start trending, it just moves lower. I would have liked to see, for example, a sweep there for a short or a clean sweep there, but it all ended up as just lower highs, and I don't really trade those. So right now we are in some pretty high time frame levels. Let's go to the 4-hour, where we tapped into this big impulse, which is basically a big single print. And right now price is inside that with some 3-hour demand below and more refined demand resting below that, which are pretty big levels. So obviously the trend is super bearish. We have this strong downtrend. So I don't expect this to V-shape, but I can see that maybe we go a bit lower and then from here bounce and then start ranging here between those levels. However, you don't know that because you can also first go down much further. But overall, I think sooner or later this is not a weird place to overall start a new range. However, until proven otherwise, this is yeah, just bearish. So until you get a super clean range formation where you can work with. Most likely is still to get lower highs, lower lows, and then until price starts to round off, trend is just super bearish. So let's see. Locally, not much to do. We had this daily SFP, and then we bounce from it. So then you can technically extend your break structure level, which is now right here. But it seems like this will be the confirmed daily break of structure, or we need to see a crazy recovery to here on this daily candle, but it is not doesn't seem very likely to happen at this point. So locally, we just took the low. It's funny because the statistics show that a lot of like 75% of the days would make a new low, and it's also what happened. However, I was interested in potential shorts, but only if we would come up closer to this supply into this fingerprint. Instead, price is just like super weak. And once again, the London session, as you can see here, Asia pushed us much lower from daily open to here, and then London was literally nothing. And yeah, New York gave the push down, make new daily low. So now we can see what they want to do from here. Potentially they now grabbed sell side liquidity, so maybe they can push it a bit higher right now. But for now, there's nothing to for me here. If buyers step in here, then we can potentially look at it from this perspective, where then this is our low, this is our high, potentially tap 2, and we can see how that develops. However, we are in a strong downtrend, so be careful with looking for accumulations while being in a downtrend, because this can also just be lower high, low low, and continue the downtrend. So if we can hold this candle, that will be a pretty good SFP. But yeah, if you look down below it, then this can just go down until we find finally some good buyers that hold price up. But for now, it doesn't look too good. Unfortunately, that we did not grab this high, for example, and then had a break structure. That could have been a pretty nice short. So for BT, not much to look at besides seeing if we get some reactions from this 3-hour demand, which is pretty big level. Let's see, hype is still going well. So let me explain why I took this trade. I haven't traded this week, so super boring week. But yeah, as said, Bitcoin did not give any re-entry opportunities, never. So what I always want to see, if you go down, for example, especially in downtrend, then you can be more aggressive with short. So that you don't need the most high probability short setup to get into short. But I still at least want to get a sweep of the high. If you get that with the local break structure, then I can short it. But here you can see price made high, low, lower high, down. So I cannot, this is not one of my setups I work with. Same is true right here. This is just a bleed down. You can think, oh, I should short this, but for me, there's nothing to short. And today, basically the same. You have low, you have high. Take out that high with some structure and then you can short it. But right now, it's just all super weak. So no trades on that. And besides hype, there was nothing I was really looking at. So let's get rid of this. Reason why I took the long is because it's my favorite model. And yeah, I should not pass on that model if the confirmation are there. So first zooming out. Let's clear it up a bit. What was really clean is that we had that 4-hour. Let's get rid of this as well. We had the market structure levels again. So we had high, higher low, then a super clean 4-hour swing failure. So this was the SFP. SFP. And we know if you swing fill a level and internally here you have a break of structure, then the low that brought you there is the weak targeted low. So this was the targeted low if there was a break of structure in this level. And we had a break of structure. Let's see. There, I believe it was on a lower time frame. Yeah, so this is super clean. Right here you have 5-minute structure from low up. You can start, then high, higher low, and then here high, higher low, higher high, break. So this is basically your break of structure. And that means that the rotation back to your market structure low is very likely. So that was also what happened, and why I was looking for that short early in the week, which was this move, where I said I want to short it if we sweep this liquidity level, which is basically your extreme liquidity. And I was watching for this structure, and I hoped to see sweep break. That would be my short trigger to basically play this as a model 2. So then you have tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, with the target is your weak targeted low, which is here. And that would have been a super clean short. It also played out, but it did not take this liquidity. So no entry for me, but it played out nicely. Okay, I see that hype is doing what I hoped. And from there I was watching for this market structure low. So how do we react after price takes out this low? Because here you can see you swing fail it, rotation back to your low. So if you here swing fill it again, then you can get a rotation back to your high. However, as you can see, this is not really a swing failure, but a clean break. So that was that local range was not valid. However, if we look at high time frame structure, then 4-hour is broken, but main one is still high, higher low, then higher high. This can still be a higher low for a higher high, from where this could potentially then be a bigger distribution, but it's all too early to say. But price reached super clean demand right here, which is 4-hour demand before that last expansion into new all-time highs happened. So that's pretty clean PY to look at. And then I was first looking at this potential range, 1, 2, 3. That was not really a clean range to start with. So I also did not trade that because this move down is way too aggressive. But from here, this was better range pool with 1, 2, and we did not mitigate this demand below yet. So that's why taking a long before that is lower probability. And in this move, there was also no break structure. So often you want to have a break structure in this leg, then confirm the model. But that did not happen. But instead, price went for tab 1 at the low, tab 1 at the high, tab 2. And then here we had low, lower high, lower low, tapping into that demand below, and then breaking structure. This break of structure technically validates this as your third tap for a move back to your range high. But as you can see, we tapped the demand and then got a super strong move away from it. So that was no entry for me. But on the 50-minute, what was it? 10-minute? Yeah, here on the lower time frames, price left demand behind. So as we know, oftentimes price likes to come back for that demand and then continue higher, which is technically our favorite model. Model 1 break structure after the model 1 is key. That validates this as your protected low. And then you can watch for price to come back into your extreme demand, break structure, and then you have your model 1 into model 2, in which this is then your fourth step. So we came down aggressively, which is not the best. As you can see, we had 2-minute structure. So you basically have here low, lower high, lower low. This is your extreme demand. So either you hold here with your protected low or not. And then here we had a break again of this internal. So at this point, I ask myself, do I want to get in? Yes or no? And the answer is I had to get in because this is my bread and butter setup. This is my favorite one. So even if it stopped me out, it was fine. But right now I see this is the reason why I love the model so much. So I need 1 second to grab my telephone to take some profits because I did not set some limits. So 1 minute to let me crash the market again. Yeah, let me take out. Let's see, I will show you the position as well. This is it. So this is running at around 3.5 R. And my main PY is just this supply because technically we are in a downtrend. So this can just be a high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So that can also just happen. So I'm gonna just do liquidity. I'm gonna take 80% out right now. Okay, that's done. So yeah, this is basically the bread and butter setup. Everything you want. And it also played out nicely. We had a confluence of price having that break. Let's see what the volume. Yeah, so you break structure right here, reject from value area high, and then grab demand, and then that internal break is also back in your value area. So this is basically your protected low. And yeah, not much else you can ask for basically. So I just took 80% right here. Maybe we nuke it, but then I'm happy. So still a good win, finally, after this boring week. Let's see what Bitcoin is. Ooh. Let me watch the chat, by the way. Welcome, Dylan. Nice push from Hype there. The US and Iran reached a deal, but need Trump's... again. It's comical at this point. How many times have I read this exact same message, and then tomorrow it's weekend, and then nuke it again, and then it's... we are living in a shit. It's comical. Are you leaving a run? Yeah, let 20% run in case Hype goes for a crazy run again. Often with these models, I like to just take a lot out, and then because I can see this come back down again and start a new range. Right now I made some nice profits, and then I can just sit back and watch for new models. I was aiming for that supply, but my main target was basically this liquidity high. So that's why I had to grab my telephone to take profits there. Eat 1 week longer in Asia. Well, maybe. So let's see. Hype played out nicely. BTC put in an like this is good. You can watch what do we have for structure, because this right now is a pretty clean swing failure. However, price already came back to the high almost, but we can watch. We have 2 up, so hourly structure. if we look at structure, from there we have basically low, lower high, lower low, SFP of our lower low, which means that this is our targeted level in case we get a local breaker structure. So we have to now identify, do we have a local breaker structure? Yeah, so here we have low, lower high, lower low. So this is technically our internal bullish boss. And we front ran the TP. So technically, this is still our target. However, this is all news driven, probably. But we can watch, we have demand. Although this is not the way I like to see a price move, but maybe on the lower time frame. Yeah, you could take a little gamble here, but it's not really what I should do or would do. Also not gonna do it, but technically, maybe if this consolidates here, consolidates here, and you tap demand and then break structure, our market structure shows you that this is still our target. So let's see, maybe if it develops nicely, it can be something, but right now it's more like if I say, okay, I'm gonna take it here, then it's more a gamble for me. I don't like to gamble, and then I'm gonna hope, and then I get emotional if it goes against me. I want a model, just like the hype. Give that model with a confirmed low, then I'm in for it. Right now I'm not really seeing it, but this could potentially be a nice low in the making. However, overall trend is still bearish. Beside that, let's have a look at USDT, because that one is at a super interesting level. We all know we have that Wyckoff model 1 confirmed with that breaker structure, and since then we had that 4-hour bullish structure, technically right here. And early in the week we came very close to that market structure low, but we did not sweep it. If you swept it, then it would have been even cleaner, because then this is your targeted high again. But you buyer stepped in, protecting that low, and then it simply continued the uptrend. So super clean 4-hour uptrend continuation with an internal model 1. Hard to trade, but fun to see. And then here, what's more important is that we now swept this liquidity with that big imbalance, the single prints below it. Those have now been filled, so we can get rid of that. And then we have super clean supply. Let's see what supply it is. Yeah, like 12-hour supply, where you have sell, very aggressive buy with that imbalance. So this 12-hour supply, that is super strong. So this is a level that if price is gonna find a rejection, then it's either from here or range highs are next. So this is a valid level to start looking for potential weakness. So let's first identify if we have demand levels below us. Here you have clean 6-hour. We also have demand right here. This is the cleaner one, so alert there. And basically this is one big range demand. So any move into proof and otherwise can just be a higher low for a higher high. But we do have structure right now on the 1-hour, because we have high, higher low, SFP. So hourly structure has shifted to this low right now. And so far we have a SFP of the high. Also local demand right here. But yeah, this is getting interesting. So remember, this is our hourly market structure low, and that's now also our market structure low. So this can be a potential range to watch how it behaves. Or this is swing high, swing low, swing high, swing failure. Right now, I don't like this sell to buy, but maybe we just enter chop again. But if in the weekend, for example, or this can still happen today as well, we make a tree drive into that 12-hour supply, then I can see crypto get a little relief really. Main expectation is still to then do this, but at least temporarily it can give us a shift. So that's interesting for potential trades. So let's set an alert in that wick and at the low. And then this is finally something to work with, ranges. Meantime, you see. Okay. So let's see how this behaves. Then gold. I haven't watched the gold. We front ran this demand. But we had buyers stepping in. We had some news event an hour before New York where gold reacted on. And we have 4-hour structure. So if we look at this high, we had early in the week that model 1 distribution that sold us off. And then 4-hour we have bearish structure with 2 candles going up. So lower high, lower low. So this is your 4-hour bearish structure. So let's see. Yeah, this 4-hour candle still has 4.5 hours to go. But if you break above that, then you have 4-hour shift, which is pretty significant. So let's see, this is also fresh demand. But since price is still in a downtrend, if you swing fill this level, then shorts are the easy play because they are in line with the overall trend. And we have supply above. So any weakness at these levels and a 4-hour failure to break above this level in the next 3.5 hours can potentially give shorts. So weakness here with a break can have interesting shorts. So let's see. Like this is why taking profits at the technical target is always important. Otherwise, I would now already be back at break even. Like where is my long disappeared? But beside that, let's look at some other coins. Most are not interested, so we'll go through them quickly. Like Sol, nothing interesting. Tao. Yeah, also not really interesting. Just chop. Still waiting for that unfinished candle that Kijos found. I think we have been waiting for it. It feels like months, but I want to see that get swept. And then probably price also takes all that liquidity low. From there, longs are getting interested again. But for now, this needs time. sec. Yeah, not really secured at less demand, protecting it from the range low. And locally in a downtrend. But not really interested in trading it here. Maybe if you come into this supply, just trade the trend down. Or watch for deviation at the lows. And I see this as a big range. With range high, range low. And then this big single print below, this is where buyers need to step in. Because below that, you also have only liquidity. So either, and you can see the deviation threshold perfectly aligns with the start of the liquidity trail. So either if we come there, maybe we can short it from there here. And buyers really need to create kind of either a bullish deviation or a model 1 or model 2 or anything, but they don't want price to come here. Because if you come there, likely you slide, take all this liquidity, and then the structure looks very, very heavy. Then this can just be a big top and then get back. So let's see. But the big PY is the range low. So if we get there, that's where it's an inflection point. Either you buy your step in or it nukes way down. If we look more locally, we are kind of rounding off. So maybe from here, it first wants to bounce. But until proven otherwise, I think maybe shorts from there. But range lows seem likely from here. ETH doesn't, we don't need to talk about ETH. And the rest also not, it's not interesting. But this is also just super scammy price action. Okay, so in short, depending on how price behaves here, maybe we can trade it back to that targeted high, depending on structure. This is a pretty good low in the making as well. And for gold, we are the key for our market structure level, which is really important. So weakness right here, like a 3 drive, which is my favorite, that, and then a break, then I'm interested in shorts, just playing the overall bearish trend. You can also see that VWAP, which held price down since the start of the week. Rejection, rejection. Right now, price is again there. So any weakness around this VWAP can be a nice short. At least back to demand, and then see if like it's a news-driven move. So often they cannot really be trusted. Often they get retraced at least deep. So potential shorts from here. And then here we can see what the structure is. But overall, I don't like this as a bottom. So shorts there. And that's it. But then I have some funny thing. We can quickly look in the statistics. But first I will read the chat. Exactly. Yeah, it's comedy. Check at a baby model too. When Tower reaches that candle, it will be a good day. We're gonna celebrate that, Kijos. Single one jokes, no, maar is alive now with DDs with soul out and sec in. Peachy Tao, that's my fifth, and then the market is quiet. Like, yeah, same. Less is more, that's always important. Welcome, Sido, by the way. I see that hype model, I don't know. Stick to your pairs or take it. If you trade Wyckoff models, I really, really like hype. It's one of the models with the most, or one of the pairs with the most models I've seen. Maybe next lesson, or maybe I will video about it, about all the models I have on it. I can quickly show a few. But that thing loves Wyckoff. Like I have multiple. Example, here at the bottom, around $20, we had a model 2, 1, 2, 3 that took this extreme demand. Then here, more locally, a model 2 that hit the target. That one flew over into a reaccumulation with basically the same model as we had at the bottom here. Model 2, 1, 2, 3, break. And then this local range also gave a model 2, 1, 2, 3. So it's basically constantly giving Wyckoff models. And then the last one, obviously, this model 1, 1, 2, 3, boom, into new all-time highs. And now this is the new range. So let's see how this develops. So far, this looks more distributive. So maybe if we look at it from this perspective, main POI is that range low, which looks like a good bit similar to SEC, where you have this imbalance below and then this demand. So on the high time frame, if you want to stay bullish, this is where you buyers need to step in. Otherwise, it can get really ugly. Nasty candle, by the way. Glad I got out. Because this looks like just liquidity grab before down again. Okay, one funny thing, let me show, is that I got beta access to that new platform. I'm still diving into it. It's pretty advanced stuff. But for example, here you can see the high was put in between hour and, okay, that's not what I want. Daily candle, yeah. So then here we can see right here, 22% of the days closed bullish. So very unlikely we still can take bullish. 73% took the low later. So similar days that put in the high early in the day. 73% of the days will still make a new daily low. So that's something you can use to your advantage. And what I like more is, for example, the weekly candle. And we can see the same. So if we look at the last 5 years, then if you, for example, expect a reversal on Bitcoin for the week, then here you can already see like 67% of the weeks with a similar bearish displacement, a similar high of the week and low of the week, would make a new low. So that this is the weekly low, very unlikely. So then you can ask, how likely is it that we make a new low? 53% took the low later. And it has a fractal match. So this is still very, very basic. I need to dive into it more. But here you can see what are fractals that look similar to it. And for example here, this one is the most reliable, or the fractal that looks most like it, second, third, fourth, etc. But look at this fractal. This is looking pretty damn accurate so far on the weekly. We only had missed that push there. But this one made like a new low on Friday and then bounced in the week and then in the weekend just chop. And then we can see like historical outcomes, 260 events that have more or less similar price action. And 17% closed bullish, 83% closed bearish, and 83% of the weeks with a similar behavior would make new lows later in the week. And only 8% would take out the high. So using this to your knowledge, then looking for this to be your weekly low is super low probability. So then we already know, like, if you want to use this as your invalidation, then take profits at the high or somewhere around here. But according to those insights, it's more likely that even if you take the high, that you will still later take the low. 83% of the weeks will do that. So that are some pretty interesting insights we can use to our advantage. You can do that on the daily candle, the weekly candle, session candles, monthly candles, daily sweeps, and a lot more, but I'm still trying to grasp it all because it's a lot of stuff. But yeah, we can definitely use this as extra confluence to see, for example, right now on BTC, if we just look at it from a Wyckoff perspective, then we have tab 1, tab 2, and then question, do we want to trade this as a model 2, or is that unlikely? So better as question is this a safe low? Well, here we can see on a daily with fractal comparison, that 67% of the days would make a new low past the current low. So then it's not really likely or not high probability that this is our daily low. So a lot of ways how we can use that, but first I need to study it a bit more, but I will get it done. It can give us crazy edges, especially early in the week. If you have a bias early in the week that you go down, for example, from here, that we get a bearish week, then we can just focus on shorts the whole week. And in trading markets, it can be a super great edge. So looking forward to share more about that. But above all, price action remains king, as always. No lie safe anymore until someone takes Trump's phone away. Yeah, I think that's most important. I don't know how long we have that, grandpa, but I'm done with it. So, okay. Gold now pushing into that refined supply. So let's see how in the next few hours, if we get a 4-hour candle close above this level or not. That will tell quite a big story. So we can watch what happens here. You want to see weakness. So far this is not weakness, but strength. Although it can change quickly. And for the rest, yeah, crypto market's boring as fuck. Let's see what hype is doing. Yeah, so the technical target was hit and then it straight nuked. Glad I sold. I had I took my phone to take profits, otherwise I would be sitting in a loss right now. So yeah, I think that's it for now. Pretty challenging and boring week so far, but let's see if it changes. One thing a bit alarming is oil is in demand, so possibly from a little something. Let's see, I haven't watched oil in a while. Yeah, it's still in a big range. You can also watch it. This is I'm always careful with internal ranges. But this is already quite a big range, so technically valid to look at. Where this could be high, low. Maybe this the tab 2 in the making. Super clean demand below with liquidity. And a pretty good return to zone. And locally, it indeed looks like some sort of a, although pretty aggressive. Did create liquidity here too, supply. Yeah, there's deep wicks so that there's some absorption. So if it can flip above here, then maybe it can squeeze higher again. Because seeing this mostly as liquidity, we know that it's not the best sign in the long run. Oftentimes that can get back. This is your structure to watch. Some alerts there, but beside that, just focusing on the main pairs. Gold, BTC. Right. Okay, I think for that's it. I'm gonna dive deeper into the BrighterData stats, because I think it can be helpful. And thanks everyone for tuning in again, even when the market is boring. That's always part of it. Eventually it will get exciting again. So thanks for tuning in, everyone, and I'll speak to you guys in the Discord as always. Let's see this local range, by the way. Stats say low is unlikely, but technically we can still go to that mark structure. Something to keep an eye on. Thanks guys, and speak to you.